I'd like to discuss with you this concept of managing your marketing. I'm Jen DeTracey. I'm the founder of LIFFT Strategies, where we work with small business owners and leaders to help them discover missing opportunities for growth. And part of that is delegating your marketing efforts. I want to talk about 3 areas around managing your marketing today. And these are so important. And the first is, of course, who is going to help you with your marketing? At a certain point in your business, even if you're a solopreneur, you need help. Will that be a virtual assistant? Will you hire somebody part-time? Will it be the kid that's doing the practicum that you want to bring in to give experience? Or if you already have a small business in which you have a team, and there are people like your administrative person that can do some of those marketing initiatives, then you'll want to assign that person those tasks. And sometimes in a small business, what happens is things are delegated out to different people depending on what it is. There might be some that are more sales function related that would go to the sales team versus something to the administrator that they can do easily, and then maybe hiring somebody part-time or using a virtual assistant to do other things marketing wise. So really looking at what's going to work best for you. Now, if you've got a really tight budget, I'm sure you've heard a lot of people are using other services like Fiverr, getting experts that are offshore. So it depends on how much control you want and whether you want that person to be in your office or be close by, or if you're totally fine about them being on a totally different time zone. Sometimes that can be a great benefit to have someone on a different time zone, because by the time you wake up in the morning, boom, if they're reliable, it's there. One of the mistakes, though, people make around marketing management, I think that can be a real problem, is not setting goals that are realistic, that you can commit to. Because if you get overcommitted to a marketing project, or you set a launch date for something before you have enough time to complete it, that's going to be a problem. So you want to look at, if you're doing a launch or a specific promotion, what is the runway time you need? Maybe you need to start working on that 2 months ahead of time, or 3 months ahead of time, or 4 months ahead of time, or 6 months ahead of time, right? To make it doable to have happen. Because that can be such a shame when you've got a great idea in which you want to promote your product or service, but your runway isn't long enough to do that. And so it's not realistic, and either you get burnt out, your team gets burnt out, or it's just not doable. And another way you can solve that problem, which is point number 3. So far we've talked about, you've got to know who's doing what in implementation when it comes to marketing. Number 2, it has to be realistic. People need to be able to commit to it. They need to be able to follow through. Otherwise, it will be a disaster. And that will be a big disappointment, because there's time, money, and energy going into it. And the third is what I call the layering map. And this is a big part of the 5-step strategic marketing process, the LIFFT process, that I guide clients through in order to really have an effective way to market their business and really leverage the system that I provide. So part of that is developing what I call a layering map. When we think of marketing plans, we used to think of something that was this like big, heavy document, like a dust collector. And I had the insight a long time ago, like 10 years ago, at least, or more, probably maybe 20 at this point, to realize that those kind of documents were useless. I wanted nothing to do with reading a big, thick document. And that might be fine for a business plan, but that's not what you want for a marketing plan. You want something very agile. And so I created this document that can be used as a template called the layering map. And it's really a snapshot of marketing actions and activities for a 6 to 12 month period of time. And you can actually use a layering map for one marketing promotion that you have. let's say that you're launching a new product and you want a window of 6 months lead up before you even launch, and then 6 months to actually actively get that out into the marketplace, then you can use a layering map and have all of the details on this map to guide you through that process. So that is important. And you need to map things out in your marketing. You can't just take an idea and throw it against the wall like spaghetti and see if it's going to stick. It's not going to work in terms of, because there's so many moving parts. At what point are you being intentional every single step of that process? People, if you're taking something out into the market for the first time, people don't know you. You need them to get to know you, trust you, and like you first, and build that relationship before you sell in your online course or your online product. Or maybe it's something that you have newly launched in the market that's a physical product, right? These are all factors. When you're going back to your marketing management, make sure you write this down. Determine who's going to do what. Not in a small business, not everybody's involved in doing the same thing. You might have, like I said, you might have a salesperson take on one function, you might have the administrator take another function, and then you might have to job out for marketing, actually implementation on certain aspects. Then you also need to know what is realistic within your organization to deliver. What can you do successfully? And then third, map it all out. Map it all out so that you can be clear and look at that map and say, okay, today, this is where we should be at. Tomorrow, we should be at here. Next month, we should be at here. And sometimes you might launch something within 3 weeks. That's fine. Still follow the same process, right? It's important. I mean, as small business owners and leaders, we can be agile. That's true. But plan it out, because you don't want to put all that time, energy, and money into an effort and then realize it wasn't realistic or feasible. So there you go. That's the 3 points in marketing management: who, realistic, reliable, and commitments, and layer out your plan. I'm Jen DeTracey. We'll see you soon. If you haven't liked this video and you're on YouTube, be sure to like it now and write a comment. And if you're on LinkedIn, write a comment, or wherever you are, write a comment and let me know your thoughts. I'll see you soon. Bye.